Welcome to Location Lifestyle Living. I'm Georgia Ma. Craig and I have a Westfield Kotara styling session. We catch up with Hunter Water, chat with Philippa Anderson, plus Rowan is back with a special guest, and Kim and Chris join us with staging tips. Now, here's Craig.
For those wanting to escape the hustle and bustle of city life, Port Stephens is the perfect coastal retreat. Situated 2.5 hours drive from Sydney or 30 minutes from Newcastle, the coastal town offers convenience of escape like no other. So Fiona and Colin, this is an absolutely amazing home. It's like, wow, 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 wow. Tell us about the features of this place.
Oh, look, I mean, obviously the main feature is this amazing view. I mean, when we come in the front door and we look at the view from downstairs and then we come up in the lift, we go, wow, wow, wow. So I can't imagine what guests must think when they come here. And I think when they book, they see some photos online, but when you come here, it's just magnificent, as you can see.
I love how the property is just geared towards the view, you know, the flow from in to out. It's just like, and it's amazing. You could just sit here all day.
Yes.
You've got the kitchen right there. You can jump out and have lunch, breakfast, dinner out on the balcony. It's just everything, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you sit out on that balcony and you can sit there for hours, you know, with your champagne and your prawns, and you just sit there and you don't move from that view.
This is on 3 levels as well, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
So we've got parking, 2-car garage downstairs.
Yes.
What's on the middle level?
On the middle level?
The middle level, we've got the garage and the 2 bedrooms and another bathroom and the huge balcony. Again, it's got views like this. Not quite as good, but it's pretty good. Then the lower level, we've got the pool and a rumpus room, another bathroom, a void area and a laundry with a water view as well. Everything opens up onto the balconies. It was built by David Jabor, and I'm sure David won't mind me mentioning his name.
Of course not.
But the build is brilliant.
I mean, it's obviously architectural design specifically for this wonderful view.
Yeah.
Everything's been done to the highest level. It's just absolutely amazing.
It is amazing.
You must be so proud.
We are.
Oh, we're amazingly proud. And one of the amazing features is this lift over here.
I noticed that.
You know, yeah. And, you know, when we went to the lift shop in Willoughby to choose the lift, David said, choose the most magnificent lift, it's all in the price. So we did. And so the great thing is that we can have this house available for people who have some disabilities or older people who can't walk the stairs anymore. It's just a fabulous feature. Even for, you know, your everyday person who wants to bring in 3 cases of beer and wine, you know, when they're staying here, they put it all in the lift.
Just makes it easier.
And up it comes.
Totally. Well, you really have thought of everything, and, you know, it's just an absolute pleasure to be here, and so good that you've opened it up for other people, you know, from Sydney to drive up and to experience this. So well done, guys.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Well, it's been absolutely fantastic talking to you guys. Fiona and Colin, great to have you on the show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Water restrictions will soon be in place as water stores across the Hunter are at their lowest levels since the millennium drought. Now more than ever, we need to love water, and rainwater tanks help us make the most of this precious resource. Joining me in my backyard today is Kirsty from Hunter Water. Kirsty, what are the benefits of having a rainwater tank?
So it depends a little what you've got it hooked up to. So if you have it connected to things like your toilet and your laundry, you're really getting the maximum out of it, because that way you're not just using it for outdoor use. And that way you're replacing our precious drinking water with a different source to do things like flushing toilets, washing clothes and watering your garden.
Wonderful. What's the maintenance like on a tank?
So if you're not very practical like me, you can do a few small checks yourself to make sure that it is working properly, because a rainwater tank is not a no maintenance, it's only a low maintenance supply. So things like checking if it's actually connected to your roof and are your gutters clear, and is the filter on top of your tank clear. Also making sure is the pump inside it working so it can actually pump the water where it needs to go. An easy way to check that is get someone to flush the toilet if that's what it's connected to, or turn on a tap and then just listen for a hum to tell you that the pump is working the way it should. And thirdly, make sure you're keeping it as clean as possible. So that means clearing your gutters and keeping them nice and clear, and also the filter that I was talking about on the top where the water comes in, making sure that's nice and clean and clear. Like I said, it's not a no maintenance, it's a low maintenance option.
Is it quite a common misconception that they just work?
Yeah, it's actually a problem for us. There's about 40,000 rainwater tanks out there in Newcastle and the Lower Hunter, but we're finding around a third of them aren't actually working the way they're designed. So a lot of people have invested in these, but they're not actually getting the most out of them. So doing these simple checks, and if there is something wrong, you may need to call a plumber to get some help, but at least checking to make sure that you're getting the most out of it is really important.
It's a big number, isn't it?
Yeah.
What happens when the tank goes dry?
Well, most of the tanks that are being installed these days are also hooked up to our drinking water system. So when the level inside the rainwater hasn't rained for a while and the water in the tank has dropped down, it's actually topped up with drinking water. And that's why it's so important to make sure you're actually collecting the water from your roof so that you're making the most of it.
Thanks for joining us, Kirsty. They were amazing tips.
Thanks for having me.
Pleasure. We'll have more location lifestyle living after the break. Quickly rising to the top of my must-do list in the Valley is visit Brokenwood's new cellar door, or Mecca for those who worship wine. But inside there's a lot more to do than sip Chardonnay. So Andy, plenty of people would know your name and your face and definitely your food from the cellar, but you've got a new restaurant and a new venture.
I have, yes. This new venture's at the Wood. It's called the Wood Restaurant. It's at Brokenwood Winery. It's at Hartsburg Colburn and just around the corner from the old restaurant. Yeah, it's going very well so far.
Why the move?
We fancied a change, and also working with the winery is really exciting. Yeah, different vintages come out, different wines. It's worked out really well so far.
What was your and Janet's vision for this place?
Well, the vision is to work well closely with the winery, obviously, to make it local friendly. The food is as fresh as we can get. Got some good chefs in there, great wood-fired oven.
You've been in the Valley for such a long time. What's kept you here? What do you love about the region?
I love the camaraderie and also the closeness to Newcastle and to Sydney. The chefs and the winemakers all work well. We all want to make a success of it, a success of the Valley. We work, it's good. It works really well together.
Wonderful. Well, this looks delicious, so I think it's time for lunch.
Wonderful. Thank you.
We've just had lunch, so it's time to taste a couple of Hunter wines with the man himself, Brokenwood's chief winemaker, Ian. What have we got first up?
Hey, Georgia, we have got the best white in the Hunter Valley, which is, of course, Semillon. And this is the 2019, so it is young, fresh, beautiful.
Thank you. It's fairly new digs here, Ian. How long have you been open? And tell us about the refurb.
Opened about 8 months. Brokenwood's 50-year-old next year, and we've had the old cellar door, which was quite small, intimate. And we thought, well, the Hunter Valley tourism is as strong as, and only going to get stronger, so let's invest in the valley. And that's what we've done with this beautiful new building.
Looks fantastic.
Yes.
And it looks a little different to a couple of other cellar doors in the region. What have you done here?
We've decided to go with the round pods so that the customers have the experience of talking one-on-one with the cellar door staff. The staff don't have their back to them. It's quite easy to sort of talk to everyone in groups of 2, 3, 5, 6 on these pods, and it works really, really well.
How have the vintages been going these last few years?
We have been fortunate to have 3 crackers. So 2017, which is this is, 2018 was a beautiful vintage for white and red, and 2019.
All right, we're going to finish this glass of red. Here's Craig with Daniel from Domain.
Getting your foot on the first rung of the property ladder is always tough. but there are some ways to make it that little bit easier. Daniel from Domain is here with these top saving tips. Daniel, what are they?
Okay, so one strategy that works really well for a lot of people is to use the buckets approach. So basically what that means is having your income from your job go into separate accounts. Most people can go for about 3 accounts. So you've got your spending account, your everyday groceries, that kind of thing. You've got your emergency fund, so that's your buffer account. And then you've got your goal, which in this case is your house deposit. So ideally those last 2 accounts have no ATM card access, so you can't actually access the money.
A great tip, Daniel. What about finding the right lender?
Okay, so there's a lot of lenders out there. If your situation's fairly standard, you might want to go for one of the big 4 banks, for example. If you're self-employed, for example, there's specialist lenders out there for you.
Daniel, some top tips there for first home buyers.
I'm going to let you in on a little secret. As a proud Novocastrian who lives by the beach, I don't know how to surf. So I thought I'd ask my friend Philippa Anderson from Surf Fest Surf School and Pro Surfer to teach me a trick or 2 today. Philippa, can you teach old dogs new tricks?
We can give it a go today.
All right, we'll see how we go. Tell us a little bit about Surf Fest Surf School.
Yeah, personally, I've been working with the company for 4 summers. Everyone comes together to learn to surf. We have a good crew, and that's pretty much, what we do.
Take us through a lesson. What does it look like?
Well, luckily, hopefully a day like this at Nobby's, pretty good surf break to learn to surf at. And yeah, we just get the guys down, they're booking a lesson. We go through a little bit of what to do on the beach, how to jump up, a bit of ocean safety, a bit of awareness, and then yeah, we hit the water and hopefully everyone can stand up and walk off with a smile on their face.
What age range of people do you teach at Surf Fest Surf School?
All ages, to be honest. I've had a 3-year-old up to I think maybe 55, so yeah, anything's possible.
A little bit about your surfing. Where are you up to on the tour at the moment?
Yeah, we've just finished the Australian leg. I've had a win and a third, so not too bad of a start. And yeah, we go to America soon, so hopefully, I can maybe get another third. But yeah, it's a big year ahead, and you just have to think of it. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So yeah, fingers crossed.
What's been some highlights so far in your career?
Definitely the travel side of things. Super blessed with what I've been able to do and just travel, see new cultures, meet a lot of people, and yeah, I guess just be out in the ocean and enjoying life as it is.
And you get to come home to Merriweather.
Yeah, I do. It's great.
All right, let's get kitted up.
All right, let's do it. Into Caven, but because we're a bit up further today, me and Abby will always to the side and for you younger people. We say toast to your tails. We swim to you guys. It's going to help you or correct you. A few more jump up, guys. And together, bring that front foot forward a bit. So you really want to make sure.
Thank you so much, Philippa. No worries. Who do I talk to about sponsorship for the tour?
Yeah, I might hold off on that one.
Yeah! Whoa!
Joining me today at TAFE New South Wales is our electrician, Cassie. Thanks very much for coming on the show, Cassie.
Thank you for having me.
Not a problem at all. Today we're going to talk a few things about home electrical safety, starting with this one right here. What have we got here, Cassie?
So this is an extension lead. I'm sure you're familiar with this. Most of us are. So I'm talking about today one of the main problems that we face with our extension leads is, see that right there?
Yes.
So they're our inner wires exposed. So it's actually against the law, against the Australian standards, to have those inner cables exposed. If you do come across this, the best option would probably be to replace it. If you are conscious about the environment and you want to save on materials, then going with an electrician whose experience would be a good option, and they can just cut it off and replace the plug base on the end.
What's the most common cause of this sort of fault in an electrical lead?
You should not be using the lead to pull it out, but you should be using the end of the plug base to pull it out because that is sturdy.
Okay, so that's going to solve our problem. So we've got any electrical leads like this, either get your electrician to replace that point or just get a new one.
Yep, just get a new one.
Right, okay. So what is this and what does it do?
Okay, so this is an RCD. Probably doesn't mean much to a lot of people, but it's a safety device that's found in your switchboard. Basically, if you were to come in contact with a live part, this should trip if it works correctly within 30 to 40 milliseconds. And if it doesn't, then you're in strife. But if it does, you'll only escape with just a small shock.
Okay, and we should be testing these regularly, you say?
So this button here is all anyone has to press if they go out to their switchboard. It should be tested at least once a month, but that's unrealistic for some, so about 6 monthly would be okay. And if it trips almost instantly, then you know that you are pretty much protected. If not, then it's probably time to call an electrician.
Great, thanks so much for coming in, Cassie, really appreciate your time. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Electrical safety around the house, very important, could save a life, might even be yours. Stick around for more Location Lifestyle Living after the break.
Hi guys, Kim and Chris here. What makes a garden, a lawn or a property unforgettable and impressive?
One answer that springs to mind for us is a uniquely designed hedge.
Whilst hedges are created to serve a variety of purposes, such as
creating a boundary around a property, offering more privacy, or serving as a border or outline to a pathway to prevent plants from being stepped on.
They are one of the quickest and easiest ways to spruce up a garden that have potential buyers saying wow. Here are some hedging tips to have your gardens and hedges looking fab.
Always start pruning your hedge before it has reached its full size. This will help them put on dense new growth. A good hedge is dense all over, not just along the top or in one area. How much do you prune, you ask? All hedges prefer smaller amounts removed more often as opposed to a major prune.
One of the most important things about the hedge, and personally my favourite, is getting the shape right and then keeping it maintained. A small and regular prune means you can follow the existing line of the hedge to keep the shape straight. The lower sections of the hedge will tend to get less sunlight than the top, and this can cause thinner leaf coverage on the lower sections. By cutting the bottom of the hedge just that little bit wider than the top, it assists the lower branches to get enough sun to stay leafy.
After cutting the hedge, brush the top with your hand to remove any leaves from the top of the hedge. If leaves are allowed to die on top of the hedge, they not only look unsightly, but they will also block sunlight and cause bare patches.
And lastly, don't forget to clean up your prunings.
Have you ever hit the shops on a mission and left with something you didn't have in mind? Well, today I've booked a personal styling session with Westfield stylist Kate Kohler, and she's going to show me how to shop for the styles, colours and shapes that suit me and my personality. And she's also thrown in a $500 Westfield gift card to splurge on. And I have noticed Craig wandering around the shops looking a little lost, so we're going to find him and Kate's going to wave her magic wand over his style. Let's go and find her. Hey
Hello.
Kate, how you going? So good to see you.
Oh, thank you for coming in.
Pleasure. You've been a stylist here at Westfield Kotara for 5 years now?
Yes.
What made you want to become a stylist?
I wanted to help men and women find their most confident self through fashion. It's an industry that I love, and whilst I can understand how daunting or overwhelming shopping can be for some people, I want to flip that for them and give them a different perspective of how fashion can make them feel. So I love what I do, and it's very rewarding, and every day is not the same. So, yeah.
Who are are the types of people that you get to work with here?
Everyone. There's not one person that I would focus on every day. It's a mix. It could be a young girl looking for her Year 12 formal dress. It could be a mother who has lost all sense of self and doesn't know how to dress for her body shape because she's had children. It could be a 65-year-old gentleman looking for the perfect suit for date night. So it really varies. There is not one type of person.
And it's more than just what they're wearing, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's about their styling their personality. So whilst I will show them what styles, colours and shapes suit them, whilst adhering to their lifestyle and budget, it's about the personality that's going to bring the clothing to life. So that's something I'm really passionate about, and finding their most authentic self. So yeah,
Right.
A lot more than fashion.
Well, we are going to spend
Yes.
this bad boy today.
Yes, we are.
What have you got in store?
So I'm taking you on a personal styling session, and before we get started, I wanted to ask you some questions that I would ask a client prior to a styling session.
The
if you
tables
don't
are
mind.
turning.
Yes. And
Far away.
Okay, first question. Is there something particular you would like to look for? Is there a certain outfit? Is there a style that you would like to find? How can I help?
I think maybe something for work. Maybe something a little bit more fun for maybe a Saturday date night.
Great. Easy done.
Perfect. All right, let's go and spend this.
Good.
These presents don't really come for free. Your paycheck don't mean that much to me. Just take my hand and hold me tight. You'll never buy my
Hey, Naha, very good.
Nearly mine.
Almost.
Kate, thank you so much for showing us around today. We had great fun, didn't we?
Fantastic.
Great. Oh, I'm so glad, and thank you for allowing me to style you. So that's part of the experience as well. Thank you.
I would never have picked that colour pink to wear, but thank you for pushing me.
Oh, you're welcome. And that's what it is. It's stepping out of your comfort zone, but in a really healthy way and in a fun environment. So you look beautiful too.
Thank you. And you too, Rosie. That's all we have time for today on Location Lifestyle Living. If you'd like to join the team, check out the website or catch up on an episode, head to 9 Now. See you next week.